good morning. Mark Miller here with Fred and Rory. Rory's on the phone.
Hey,
as well. How you doing, Rory?
I'm doing good, my friend.
On the Skype call. On the phone, that's a little bit, old-fashioned.
Well,
You know.
it's like that save icon. That's a bit old-fashioned as well.
It is. We're like this,
so many people who use that today have no idea what it is.
We're like the save icon of Twitch. That's what we are, kids. Welcome. How you doing, Rory? How was your weekend? Was it good?
I seem to remember having a weekend and there being relaxing happening, so that's good.
Right,
Details are kind of a distant memory, but
okay.
Yeah. How about yourself? You have a good time?
Yeah, I think so. Yesterday I didn't work. I took the day off yesterday.
Hey.
And my family left for a vacation without me. And I was like,
okay.
I don't know. It was like they wanted to do more of a vacation than I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were like, well, we're going to go now. And I was like, all right. So that's what happened. And so I decided yesterday I would take the day off. I spent the day with the family yesterday. And because I knew that I was going to get so many more hours to throw at Dev Express this week.
So your family is having additional vacation, as you suggest. Is this following a vacation that you've had, or in anticipation of a vacation? Are they more on the start or on the end of said?
It's on the start, but because it's a driving thing, they're like out. Plus, also, I'm like, I think it's autistic mind is like when I see people breathe around each other, I've like, I see it as, transmission of COVID-19. And I didn't like the way the vacation was planned, was going to be in terms of, I thought the risk was higher than I wanted it to be.
Okay.
And so I was like trying to figure out ways to reduce that risk. And that was becoming a downer for everybody else, I decided. So anyway, I'm staying here and I'm like, ready to go out and rescue them if disaster strikes, I suppose.
Okay.
But if not, we'll get some code done. And then later on, I promised Karen I would take her on a separate trip, just her and I, because if it's just her and I, we
it's a different kind of relax, isn't it?
It is. Well, it's also you can control the situation, right? You don't have kids interacting with other kids. You know what surfaces you're touching, all of that, right? And so it's way more for me, more of a vacation. This one was going to be very stressful for several days easily because it was not only us in a location, but it was us and another family in the same place.
Yep.
And the other family, from my perspective, were like running around like clowns in terms of breathing other people's airspace. They were not, and I was like, that's like feeling like way higher risk than I want to take.
Sure.
So, so Karen's leaning towards mental health and I'm leaning towards physical health. And at any rate, that's it. I'm a bachelor for a week about.
Wow.
And so I'll be writing code. Who knows? I might even do a show on the weekend. I don't know. Who knows? Where did we leave off? You weren't here with us on the last day we were coding.
No. I saw something to suggest you were doing magic squares?
Yes.
Did I miss that?
We did. No, we totally got that. So let's actually show that.
That only has one meaning for me. That's a grid of numbers wherein all the directions add up to a single number.
No, it's not quite that. It's not that at all.
Okay.
But you may have seen something that was a little bit like that. Hold on. Let me go in. Let me open up the spreadsheet. This is our in-game creatures spreadsheet right here. This allows the dungeon master to create any number of in-game creatures and have a number assigned to them. Then on the Stream Deck page, let's switch over and go into here, NPCs and monsters. On this page, we have the ability to show these creatures just by pressing one of these numbers here. So I can press number 1, and we should see, there it is right there, Cashmere.
Ooh,
the Frost Shine.
Very nice.
And if I come back over here into the spreadsheet, I see, let's say I want Noctan to appear as well. I hit number 3, on the deck, and then that shows Noctan. I can hide Noctan as well. So it's kind of like, you know, the Dungeon Master being able to say, okay, here are the creatures in the space that you're in.
It's quite literally, and suddenly an ogre appears, and there he is on screen.
Yeah, now
that's really immersive.
Well, it's not bad, and then we also have the ability to target. So, like for example, I could say I want to attack Kashmir like that, and so I just hit the target button down here for number 1, and now Kashmir's target. I can also target Noctan if I want as well, or individually turn them on or off. I've got a button to show all friends like that, and one to show all enemies right here. And so, and that's just basically taking this field here. Is it an enemy or not? This is a hit points override. And then I'm using the same image URL and image crop format that we were using in the monster spreadsheet to determine what the headshots are going to look like.
Yep.
Okay. So we can paste these in, and if not, we just use the ones already built in. So here, Frost Giant, we're using those. But for these others, we chose something different. For the Frost Spectre, we chose a different one. So the Frost Spectre is number 5. Oh, I guess that's showing right now. Yeah, there it is right there. It's on there. So we just chose a different one. So you can create a custom image. You can create a name. The kind is going to be a static, you know, one of the existing names from the monster piece.
Sure.
And then we have the ability to do damage to them. So let me do one other thing. Let me open up the Dungeon Master's chat right here. This is where the feedback from the game comes out during the game. So it comes on over here. And so if I were to come in and cast, just clicking on the buttons here, if I wanted to come in and cast Chaos Bolt at level 4, and then hit the cast spell button down here, damage the evidence of damage showing up in the chat down here. So we're just the damage bonus because I rolled a 20. That's just a 41. So now we should have seen something. There it is right there. Kashmir went to 97 out of 138. Notice that Frost Spectre did not, because I didn't target Frost Spectre.
Yes.
Only Kashmir was targeted. So, and he still says he's healthy, but let's do like another attack, and you can see what happens to his health as we do that. So we'll do another level 4 cast spell.
And there's going to be some damage.
There's going to be some damage. And there you can see the other thing that's happening is bruised. Notice his color goes from red down towards, it's going towards gray. So the more damage that he takes, so let's go back here and you can see now he's down to 71. The more damage that he takes, both the text at the bottom is updated, but also the closer to gray he goes. And then ultimately when he goes dead, he'll be completely black and white. The scroll will be. That's what we did on Friday. So not too bad, but we only are doing damage automatically if it's an attack roll. Okay, so for example, if I do something, you know, less glorious, I do like, for example, the dagger and roll that attack. Yeah. You should see the damage be taken. If I get something high enough, that won't work. Let's try again. That's a miss. Dagger again, roll the attack. Last match with us. Effect audio is a little loud. Can't hear voice when.
And look at that damage! Maximum damage!
I think that's the effect on Chaos Bolt. Give me a second to adjust that. I'm going to cast Chaos Bolt again, and I'll drop it down, and I bet it'll fix it. Hold on. How's that? Is that a little bit better? Or is it this at the end? Let us know, Lats, on that, if that was any better, or if we still need to work on that.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's go look at, he's roughed up now. And where did the attack occur? Here's the dagger. Ready to attack with dagger. And there's my damage. 6 points of damage. Took him down. You see above that he had 71. So we took him out right there. I think the order of these two should be switched, but they're happening in kind of response to different events, I think. But I'll maybe make a note of that. Let's come over here in our to-do, and we're going to say show monster HP change after showing die damage. Like that. Okay, so that's on our to-do list. One of the things I like now, we've started doing this a couple shows ago, where we say, "Here's what our to-do list is," and I like I like doing this. We kind of checking things off. It shows we're making progress as we go through.
Absolutely,
gives you a sense of where we're going.
It's a nice way to divide up work as well, and often you find that there's 2 or 3 tasks on there which get aided by a 4th task. So it helps to sort of decide where to prioritize the work. Yeah,
it does. It does. Last Matt says a little bit more would be perfect. Okay, Last Matt, I will keep that in mind. I'm going to make a note here. I think it's, we're saying chaos, bolt, audio, and then also make a note to myself, and or spell, effect, audio, maybe too loud. I'll go take a look at that. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. I'll do a separate test to figure that out on a different stream. I'll stream out to a different test channel and listen to it later. Okay. Now, a couple things I don't like about this UI here that I want to change. I'll put it on the list here. Who's here, kids? In the house. Where'd he go? He's gonna jump up any moment. Hey, welcome, Coding Gorilla. I love it when people start getting into their fanfares where they sync up the intro with their text intro with their fanfare. Welcome, Coding Gorilla. Glad you're here. It's Mr. Smoopy as well. Glad you're out here. I don't remember what I was going to... Oh, I was going to add something down here. Oh, I know what. Here's what I don't like. Let me show you what I don't like. Let's say I want to hide Kashmir right there. So only we see Prospector. Watch when I turn him off, it's that. And when I turn it on...
The other one changes place. Yes. Leaps into position 1.
What do I need to do, Rory? What do you want me to do there to fix it? What do you think?
My instinct says, well, it should leave it in place in that location. However, there is another potential problem, because if you add several other people, are you saying that every new person sort of adds from the right? So like a queue almost?
Yeah, exactly. If I bring in... Yeah? Well, it doesn't put them in order, numeric order, right? But, see what's happening? So it's sudden. And what I want to do is I want to have it animate slide. That's what I want to do. So like if I take CERTAB number 2, take it out, I want all the others to go shunk like that, right? Yeah. And I want it to be an interruptible sliding kind of thing. And we don't really have that yet in our animation engine. We don't have something that says, hey, you move to this location. I don't think we do. We
applied thrust to the drones, but that's not quite the same thing.
Say that again? We did what?
Well, we did kind of the opposite with the drones. Okay, we said, well, here is the force, and we're going to apply it for a period of time, and we don't really know where that's going to get you. We'll just accept wherever you get to as a result. Whereas here, we kind of want to say, well, get to this location and do it over the course of X seconds. You work out the granularity of movement.
Right, and I also want to do it with both easing in and easing out of the current location.
Sure.
I want to do both of those. So those are certainly things that we want to do. So I'm just going to make a note here. Animate changes to the NPC monster list, which includes. I'm gonna specifically. There's several I want to do actually. I want to do slide over to accommodate. I think I need another M in there. No spell checker here. To accommodate new or hidden NPCs.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. I've got a slide over. I've got a death. I've got a damage, and I've got health.
So if you're going to eliminate people, this would be the death candidate, I guess, or simply somebody wanders off, I guess. Would you be looking to animate their removal as well?
Yeah.
So you're going to have stage 1, people are removed. Maybe they fade out, maybe they pixelate, maybe they just walk off screen. Stage 2 is to bump up the remaining people, as you said, by sliding perhaps, or easing and what have you. And then maybe the arrival of extras sort of then arrives on top. Or are you going to have all of these happen at the same time and kind of just sort of, I don't know, merge from one state to the other?
Yeah, I'm going to try to handle that. I kind of want it to be I want to say asymmetric, but that's not it. I want it asynchronous. I want to be in the middle of an animation and have an immediate response if the Dungeon Master hits another button, and have it be able to adapt that. I'm going to lurk while eating dinner. Okay, last Matt. Well, welcome, and lurk. Totally welcome.
With your scenario on screen there, 1, 3, 5, 6, 7. Let's imagine 5 wasn't there, and then 5 shows up. Are you expecting him to be on the far right-hand side, or are you going to add a space for him in the middle, and then he appears there?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do, the second one. Yeah, and I think there should also be like maybe a sound and a little poof or something subtle, not big, but something just so that whenever there's a change, it doesn't happen without telling you. It's not going to be an instant, immediate change.
So we're not talking a fanfare for each character type.
Right, not a fanfare, small,
quite the opposite.
And the audio sound is going to be low volume, but something so that if I'm looking elsewhere and I hear the sound, I can look up and realize, oh, okay, something's changed.
Are you talking a sound for the concept of arrival / disappearing, or do they get their own subtleties on a per creature type?
No, just everybody's got the same, I think.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Now there may be. Now here's the thing. Now hold on. Now, so we've got perhaps an arrival animation. Mm-hmm. We've got a go away animation, and that actually can break down into 2 different kinds, I think. Dead and not dead. So if you, in other words, the death animation will play maybe something like, whatever it is, but we'll still have it up so people can look at it. And then when the Dungeon Master removes it and hides it, if it's dead, it can be a kind of explosion or something like that.
Sure.
So there's a dead and alive versions.
But that's obviously not the same as if the chap who you've just been talking to decides, okay, I'm going to go off on my quest over here, and naturally walks out of the scene. He doesn't need to die.
That's this animation right here that'll play. So those are things that I want to look at and do. Those aren't. I wasn't planning on doing any of those today. Mainly because I haven't really thought too much about the artwork for it. I have thought about the artwork for the targeting though. And this targeting, here, let's switch back over to the players right here, because I think on players we've got, when the players one, the Code Rush overlay is behind, so the coins don't overlap, and you can kind of see it when we're on this screen right here. But the targeting, this thing, I want it to be subtly animated, and I want it to look like a wooden target from medieval times. And maybe 3D, just a little bit of movement, not a lot, but just something that if you are, you can see who's targeted very easily by looking at the movement. Okay. All right, hold on. Karen just texted me. I'm going to reply back. Okay. Cool. So where did I want to focus? I wanted to focus anyway. All this sounds fun, but I don't have the assets to do this, and I never want to really spend time making assets on the show. I want to spend time writing code. So so this will I want to think about it. I want to spend some time thinking about it. I do know that when they get just like when we take damage, which I'll demonstrate now. Let's take 22 damage away from me. When we have those kinds of effects, that kind of interaction, I want something similar up here, right? Depending on how hard they're hit, different levels of explosion, but this time they're going to start up there and come down showering on the players. And even wait, this is a coding stream? I thought this was play with his bot. Yeah. Yeah, that might be it. this here for Shirley to play with his bots. Let me start a featured chat here so I can bring chat stuff up here. Let me log in. So, so here's what I want. So we'll do this maybe later this week. You never know. I just need to kind of think about it. I need to collect some assets.
Yeah.
The sliding, I think, is going to be the trickiest. That's going to involve the most code.
Okay.
Right. In fact, we can write this without any assets at all. That's kind of interesting. Maybe I'll leave it up to. I had to turn my fan off. Made me cold. The water looks cold. Oh, okay. Yeah. There's another spell that Karen has called Wall of Water, and when she casts that spell, I feel like I'm underwater. Have you seen this before, Rory?
I've not seen that one before. No. That's pretty nice for a hot summer day, though.
Yeah, it's psychologically effective. It really is. Yeah, it looks relaxing. It totally is. And all of us are behind it. You can see us throwing the water. Yeah, the wall of water effect is pretty cool. There's also a wall of fire. It's not as cool. It's not as relaxing, right? But the wall of fire is like, and also it's behind the players. But it starts up like that kind of a thing right there. So that combined with the front spell effects, which you're not seeing, that's kind of what it looks like. That's when Miles affects it. It's just right next to Fred. But yeah, definitely the other one's cooler. But you know, you got the embers going around. It's definitely effective kind of thing there. Yeah, fan back on now. I'm hot. So, yeah, there you go. Hold on a second. I'm in the wrong board right there for featured chat. I had the Dragon Humper show up there. Yeah, there we go. That's what I wanted to show. Frackberg. It's not showing. Oh wait, no, I got to click up here. Boom. There it is. Frackberg. Yeah, Surly's got some amazing bot stuff he's doing here. All right. So let me go back over to my NPC page. I'm going to just say clear all so we don't see any of them anymore. He's not here with his bot fleet. Yeah, not yet. So
not yet. You'll soon know.
If right now, if I cast a spell that has an attack die and a d20 that then is trying to roll above their armor class, then we subtract the damage automatically. But if I cast a spell that requires a saving throw, we're not doing anything. And that's what I wanted to focus on. Oh, he's on vacation. Last man says he's on vacation. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Cool. Wait a minute. Surly's on vacation. My wife and family are on vacation. Surly. Rory. Don't make me dance to that.
I saw that's what you were leading up to.
Rory, you know I have to dance. Worst show ever, Rory. You're getting an admonishment after this show, buddy.
Does anyone else get the feeling that Mark was leading up to that?
By the way, did you hear? There are two things if you were listening carefully just before the party scene played. One is you could tell Rory's breathing out of his mouth with a big wide open smile. He's like, and he's out of breath because he's feverishly typing in party as fast as he can. Go back and listen to it. It's there. The proof is there. If Surly was here, he would clip that to share with Karen. Yeah. If he was there. So this is what I want to work on. It's not as visually exciting, and we're gonna be going through some old code that wasn't written for this and kind of, massaging it, bringing it back in. So it's gonna be a little bit of like, we're gonna get dirty. Today going in and changing this code. It's going to feel a little bit like we need to shower afterwards, but the end result is it's going to work, and then we're going to feel clean when it works. I think that might be it. So I wrote these down. So these are all things that we have to do to solve this. I'm going to move this whole thing up to the top like this. So we got to solve saving throws. So a couple of things here. We need to know what the saving throw threshold is. For example, let's go bring up. Let's bring up my spells and look at tidal wave. So I'm going to click on tidal wave, and then I'm going to hit cast on it. So tidal wave, actually, before we do that, let's go. Hold on. There we go, tidal wave. So each creature in that area must make a dexterity saving throw. Well, the question of in that area is going to be answered by which characters are targeted. Like that. Hold on. Like that. So say I've got these two characters targeted. So whoever's targeted is going to have to save. So we're going to know that. So when I say I cast it, the Dungeon Master is going to come in here. Let's show all here so we see them all across. The Dungeon Master is going to decide who's in the area like that. Okay?
Yeah.
And then we're going to cast the spell. Okay? So that's
cool.
That's kind of what's happening. So let me go in and I'll hit the buttons to cast that spell. All right, so there's tidal wave, and the dice didn't even roll. I wonder if that's because I changed. I think it's because I changed player around. Hold on a second. Let's do it one more time. Tidal wave. Okay, so the dice have rolled. Now, the save threshold is actually in the upper left corner. That spell save DC, see it, the 15?
Yep, the 15.
That's what they're going to have to roll higher than. So this spell save, the saving throw threshold, there's two components. There's a spell component, or is it always this? I guess it could come from maybe a magic or a wand, an item as well. So it's mainly just the spell save DC, I think that's what it is.
Okay.
Now we already have the ability for the saving throw threshold to be set. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set this manually. So that also allows the DM to override it. So here's the problem. The DM doesn't see what this 12 is. They don't have that. They only see it when they set it. So for example, let me show you what the DM sees. The DM sees these. This is the chat the DM sees. This is the feedback. So let me bring this up and let me bring this up at the same time so you can see what the Dungeon Master is doing here. So Dungeon Master has a stream deck with all of these buttons on it. So Dungeon Master comes to like say hidden threshold. So it'll set a hidden threshold. You can do that from any page. We'll type in the number, like say for example 14. So I just hit 1 and the 4, and then they're going to say save, like there. And watch this. See that change to 14? They don't see that, but they do see this right down here, right there next to me. They see that little icon 14, hidden save threshold. Okay. So the question is, do I use this same saved number, that 14? The downside is that I, as a Dungeon Master, I set it to 14, and I cast somebody to roll against it. Then somebody else casts a spell that has a different threshold. The spell changes it. Then the DM goes back and says, all right, now let's do another saving throw, thinking it's still at the old setting.
Yeah.
In other words, it could lead to problems in gameplay where we have to do a reroll, which is not too bad. But I still
is that solved by the didn't you have a chat that was specifically for the DM's attention, so you'll be able to tell them that this had been affected by a spell?
This is the chat specifically for the DM's attention, right here.
Oh, okay.
So what I plan to tell them, right? But I think that's what I'm going to do. So let's do that now. I think I'm going to actually change this manually, so that the next save is automatically there, and I'm going to tell the DM, whoa, hey, we're changing the hidden save threshold. That's what I'm going to say because of the spell we're casting. So to do that, we need to go find out where we're casting the spell. And let's go into the NPC tab and let's clear all so we're not seeing any of those there. Let's see, what do I want to do? I think I'm going to start with rolling the dice. What is it? It's release. Oh, I thought it was release the die. No. Unleash is what it is. Unleash the next roll. That's what I called it. Spell to cast on roll is not null. So here is what we're looking for. I think we want some code here. So let's try it. Let's do tidal wave again. Roll the damage. And here's our breakpoint. So there's our tidal wave action shortcut. We need to go into the spell of it, and we need to ask, what kind of type of spell are you? Spell type, right there. And it just says it's a saving throw spell. So I think we need to do this. If dot spell spell type equals saving throw spell. Then we want to I guess I'm going to call set saving throw threshold. Oh, look at that, I already got a method in there. Sweet. What's this problem here? It's old. Okay, so now I want to say, how do I find I guess it's the active player. Dot spell save DC. Could it be this easy?
You gotta love it when you're using an API that's been designed so well.
Yeah. Yeah. I got mixed feelings about that, to be honest. I think we've got there are parts that are well designed, and we've got parts that, to be honest, we were kind of struggling with the D&D rules when we started. You know, I didn't have a full grasp of them when I started. I think my grasp is much clearer now than it was before, and so as a result, I'm like, oh yeah, I wish I had this knowledge when we started, really understood it. And I think I also need to say, hey, if active player as well. So I think it's going to look like this. I didn't like that. Oh, not null. I'm doing JavaScript here. All right, let's do it again. All right, so we got the spell save DC of 15. That's awesome. That we've done for saving throw spells. Okay, so there you can see right there on screen, right here, that changed to 15. Okay, so I think we may have more pieces that we need to worry about in here. I'm not entirely sure about that, but we know we've done it for the spell save DC. The caster, the spellcaster, let's do that. The spellcaster save DC. We did that. And then we want to check to see if we need to do anything for magic or items. I don't know. There may be, is there ever a skill check? There may be an option for skill checks as well. I'm just going to write this. I'm just going to get down. I'm not sure if that's the case. I need to research this. Skill check? Maybe I'll just put this up at the top up here. Skill check? For spells? I'm not sure if that's the case. It's often just dexterity saving throw. It's not really specified as a particular skill check. Okay, we got that. The other thing we need to know is what kind of save. I didn't write this down, but we need to know what kind of saving throw is needed. What ability are we going to check? Right? Is it going to be strength, intelligence, wisdom, that sort of thing? Let's see if we have that. Do we still have a breakpoint? We do not. Let's set a breakpoint, and let's do it one more time. Let me add a day's. Oh, I didn't add a long rest. Let me do the long rest on there. And let's do it again. Tidal wave. Roll the damage. And what do we have in the spell? Do we have the type? And here it's a dexterity saving throw. So we're looking for the word dexterity in here, in the spell. I was hoping to see it. There it is. Saving throw ability. Okay, we want to save that. Okay, so we're gonna do this. Say next saving throw ability is equal to dot saving throw ability, like that. Let's declare this. Did it work? I'm not sure. It looks like I moved. Declare field. Okay, so there's my next saving throw ability. I want to call that a check. We've done that now. So we're going to call this a check. We'll call this next saving throw ability right there. Okay, good. All right. Keep running. You want to get rid of the fist, the flaming fist. I feel like it's too distracting and it looks like magic when it's supposed to be bludgeoning damage. I think I need to figure something else out there.
Okay.
Also, I want all of these, the spinning clouds, I want them to be without a tint. They've got a red tint to them, and I either want to change that, or this is my wild magic roll. Okay. So next, got roll d20, damage type for each die roll. So this is something else we need to know when it comes back. Because some spells have two different kinds of damage that are rolled. This little cutie has. What is it? It's an ice storm that she has.
That is a large list of abilities.
Yeah, it's so much easier to find them down on the stream deck. Let's see if I bring up the stream deck here. This is what her page looks like on the stream deck. Much easier to see. Part of the reason why is because like Moonbeam is only one button here, but it's 4 up here, 3 up here for the different spell slots you can cast it at. Down here, when you hit Moonbeam, you get the second choice given to you right here. So kind of nice there. I thought she had ice. She does not. Miles has got Ice Storm. Miles has Ice Storm. Is Ice Storm the one I'm thinking about? Yeah, there it is. Look, creature takes 2d8 bludgeoning damage and 4d6 cold damage. Okay? So what that means is when we roll, when we're done, we need to know what those are. And when they come back, we report them. We need to report the type. And the reason why is because we might be fighting a character that's immune or resistant to cold damage or to bludgeoning damage. Right? So we need to know which one it is so we can properly apply the damage at the end. So so we got that. We needed, that's something, and that's a low-level engine thing we're going to have to change. So that's going to involve some TypeScript. It's going to be down in the, we're going to involve some TypeScript down there, and test with Ice Storm because it has 2 different types of damage. Okay. By damage, add damage health effects to the creature's scroll. Yeah, these are the animation effects that this is this whole thing we just worked on down here. So I'm going to delete this, and we're going to work on that on a separate day. Okay. So what I want to work on next here, we got roll d20 for each targeted creature afterwards. And we need to do this. These are both kinds of a little bit of pains in the butt. This is going to involve some TS, I think, as well.
So when you do that roll d20 for each targeted creature, are you planning to do that sequentially, or are you just going to throw like all the d20s out at once?
All at once. And I'm going to name each die. So each die, so we see, we're going to check each creature's advantage or disadvantage for the saving throw. right? We're going to use the creature's appropriate saving throw modifier.
Yep.
We're going to label each creature's D20 with the creature's name, so you'll see
So
that.
that's a bit like the drones that we have at the moment. They've got a username next to them.
Yeah, exactly. And we're going to support custom. We might support custom creature monster die colors. So like an ice dragon might have an ice blue, and a fire dragon might have a fiery red. I think that'll make sense for differentiating between certain kinds of monsters.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. So I think what we're going to do is the first thing is we're going to do this. We're going to track the damage type for each die rolled. That means going down to TypeScript, modifying the lower engine, and seeing what we come back with. Let's first see what it gives us with Ice Storm. So we're going to first test to see if damage data is rich, and I don't think it is for die rolls. So let's do that now. Inside of here, we've got our hub-tastic base station, and we also have dice stopped rolling right here. So this event occurs here. Oh, the other thing I wrote down is I think we're going to need a die roll queue. I think we're going to need some official big thing. And the reason why is because we can often have multiple rolls that we need to queue up. Right. Already we've got my wild magic rolls, which happen after every time I cast a spell.
Yep.
Oh, your follows, blah blah blah. Hey, Rory, this is. I'm so excited. We've got somebody in the chat room who's talking to me. I'm so excited. Oh wow.
Bye-bye.
Xylee, what? No, Rory, it's my only friend. Don't say goodbye to them. No!
Oh, look at that. Once again, Coding Gorilla, quicker than I was.
Man.
See, we took a vote and we decided that you don't need those kind of friends.
I thought I was going to get a new friend today, Rory. Just like school. When I was young, right? The database programming bullies would come up to me because I couldn't program it. Wasn't a database programmer. And they would be like, want to buy friends? Want to buy database friends? And they'll be like, no. Give us your money anyway. I'm like, all right, fine. Here's my money. Okay. So we've got a breakpoint here. All right, let's cast Ice Storm and see what happens. So, Ice Storm.
10-7, where are you? We need your help. Oh, alright.
You got this, 7.
Here's who I am.
All right, here we are. Stop rolling. We're at our breakpoint right here.
I don't know if I've ever told you this before, Mark, but I really like... I don't know whether this was ever on purpose or whether it's just a natural happenstance, but I really like the layers of this that stay up during the fanfares. So we've got yourself, obviously, we've got Fred, and we've got the dice. And so Disco 7 is racing across the place, shooting the aliens and what have you, avoiding the dice. It's just... It composites very well, despite the somewhat incongruous nature of the objects.
It's so funny because I was like thinking about, it occurred to me that I could add weather effects into the game.
Yeah.
And we did it for the first time in the last game. It wasn't too hard to do. I think I can just come in here and do this, and we get snow, right?
So that's nice.
Yeah.
Nice and subtle. Works.
And this is not like perfect. Perfect would be a seamless loop, which I could make, but I didn't.
Sure.
This just kind of fades out the end and loops and comes back. But I used it because we had a snow level. I was thinking, oh my gosh, I can do rain and snow and have those so they impact every page just by controlling it from one place. So yeah, I thought it was kind of cool.
That's good.
All right, so we're at a breakpoint. The dice have not cleared yet. Looks like ash to me, says Smokey. Yeah, I guess.
Possibly.
We do that too.
Yeah.
We do that too. Anyway, yeah, so I was thinking about that. I was thinking, okay, where does the weather layer go in relation to everything else? I'm always thinking about this, right? Because we've got primarily like 3 major layers, but even when those places, they've got multiple layers. And so you also have insertion points for spell effects, right? Spell effects go back here or here. and it could go here or here, right?
Yep.
And just like that kind of thing. So I was thinking I should do an official, I should give this some thought and really decide here's how everything's going to go. But the fact that I could slide weather in kind of seamlessly onto all the pages and mix it with all the other effects, I thought was pretty powerful and exciting. I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be cool.
Yeah.
To have that built in. Okay, so we've just finished rolling the dice. This is the, and look, if you look at the data out here that's on screen, we've got 6 bludgeoning, the 4 and the 2 right there. Do we have anything in the chat room that's already added it up? Let's see. No, it's not been reported yet. Okay. So here is the code I added right here that applies damage to targets for an attack roll. So this is the one that's already automatically subtracting the values. And we talked about moving that down to the end so that we'd see the, we'll put this down here like that. So we see it afterwards. So we see, here's what the die roll is. Somewhere in here, we're going to report the die roll. Let me just F10 through this here. Last damage. Let's look at stop rolling data. What do we got in here? Individual rolls. Okay, here's an individual roll. Okay, num size 8, value 4. The type is not empty though. That's what we got to fill out. The type is empty. I'm pretty sure the type there, we want that to be.
That's the bludgeoning or the fire or whatever other kind of.
Yeah. We're going to need to make some changes to TypeScript. Looks like we don't have the data we want. Do we have anything else in here that's... Type is damage only. Yeah, that type on individual rolls needs to be fixed. All right, so we're going to just run it. I'll clear the dice out. Let's go to TypeScript. See if we can figure that out. So now we're going into code we haven't been in about a year, I think. What could go wrong?
Oh, absolutely nothing. I'm sure the code's perfect.
Okay. We need individual rolls.
Yes.
There we go. The die type. The die type is coming in, and it's coming in. This is the die type that was specified. Okay, I want to add something new. The die type is something that is specified by, can be specified by, hold on a second, let me bring up the features. Give me a second to bring this up. Where are you?
Is this of the nature of if it's attack dice or if it's advantage dice or
no,
the meaning behind it?
It's not. I'm going to go to features. Wild Surge Rage. Wild Magic Surge? Is this it? Nothing, wait. Nope. Hold on. Oh, Wild Surge Rage. This is what I want. Okay. Here. So right here, I've got this line of code. It says roll 1d8. This is the kind of die that we're going to use, but this is the die type. What that means is I can roll a die and give it a name, and that name is going to come back to me in the die type.
So it's almost a dictionary of dice in case you happen to be rolling more than one, and you'll be able to pick out the one you actually want to interrogate after the fact.
Yes, that's what it's for. Now, it's got a really bad name here. The die type is a really bad name here, I think. Also, it's off of die, which there's no IntelliSense on because, you know, it's like pure JavaScript, not TypeScript out there. We're kind of interfacing with this other code. So what I want to do, though, is I want to do a search and replace for die type, I think, and replace it all the way across the board. First, I want to see where it's being used. Yeah, so here is where we attach the label. So here we check. Notice we see if die type starts with this, a quote symbol, then we're going to attach a label to it. So when we come in and we roll this Barbarian Wild Surge, we should see, well, actually, there's no quote here. I'm not sure where, I don't remember where else I'm using that to roll the die, but we'll attach the label to it if it starts with a quote. Let's keep looking through for die type. Roll type override. Let's go look at the roll type override. Damage string comes from, you know what, let's do, what's going on here? What do you want me to do? Never reassigned, use constant instead. I'm going to start cleaning up some of these because I'm finding these underlines are really distracting. Really distracting. Like that. Okay. Oh, so it's not this. What is it? What's the problem there? Oh, just decided to get rid of it? Okay. That's probably the same thing. Const. Is that my problem? No, it's not that. Or it might be that, but it's got it's a trivial inference of the type there. Okay.
Yeah.
Modifier, same thing there. No problem here. Use const. Okay, cleaned up this method to some degree. What's this one? It was used before it was defined. Really? Is that a problem? Put it up here. If I must. Okay, so what's happening here? Damage type from dice string. Okay, so back down. We need triple. Okay. Const. Oops. Same thing here. And const. Okay. Now, where were we looking at? We were looking at die type, right? Let's go find it. It's equal to the roll type override, and in this case, it's equal to the damage string. It feels like it's a repurposed variable to me. Also feels like this. We have damage type. So we have damage type already. Where's damage type being used? It's when we add the die.
Okay.
Let's go and follow this all the way around. Add die. Damage type is here. We're not setting it. We're not setting it anywhere on the die. It's got a damage stir though. I kind of want to set it on the die. Is what I want to do.
Yeah, it feels like the damage string is something that's derived from the damage type.
Yeah. That's definitely
Which,
the case.
to be fair, we are deriving here, but it's not persisting on the die, right?
Yeah.
Which is the useful thing to have.
I want to persist it. So I want to just create my own thing here and do that. I want to say die.damage type is equal to that. What are we looking at there? And there. And what's this? It was used before. That was never a problem before, guys, and it's not really stopping me from running, it seems. But okay. C# Fritz.
Wow.
Rating with party at 457. That is ridiculous, sir.
That feels like an excuse.
What? Hugo's in already.
He's in the house.
He stopped my party. That's a real party.
Welcome, C# Fritz and all our friends.
How you doing, C#
Wow.
Fritz? I saw you go live like really early this morning, at least for me. I was like, what? Guy's going live early.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking that might work out for me. There he is, kids. Right there. Look over there. Look over there. Hey. I wonder if I could fit inside that. Whoa. C# Frets with the Killer Visual Studio logo on top of that. You're doing amazing. Had a fun stream today. I bet you did. I bet you did. I bet you did. All that people carry over from a raid from Michael Reeves. Wow. Nice. Amazing. Incredible. That is awesome. I'm glad to hear it. We are in TypeScript right now. And we are working on our Dungeons and Dragons die roller and kind of integrating die roll into the game engine, the Dungeons & Dragons game engine. The voice you're hearing on the Skype call here is Rory.
Hello.
Rory's live from the UK. I'm in actually Costa Rica right now, and yeah, we write C# and we write TypeScript. I'll give you a little sample of what we're looking at here. Come in here. We'll do I'll throw a chaos bolt at you with level 4. Roll the attack. You're seeing the graphics that are here on the screen. We also have graphics where we just added these for the bad guys. So like I can bring up the bad guys across the bad guys are the good guys, that sort of thing. We're targeting Kashmir up there, and we're going to roll the attack. You can see everything you're seeing, all the effects, all of this was created here on the show. Written in, here we go. Guys, stop rolling. That's a breakpoint where we're at. And you can see the spell effects, all of that. All of this was done here on the show. The 3D dice are running. This is all written in using 3JS and Canon.js down in TypeScript. So we've got a WPF application behind me. We've got a Stream Deck out there that's controlling the Dungeons and Dragons game. So the DM has this. We've got a rules engine with a built-in C# interpreter that we built on the stream as well, which is doing things like rolling the wild magic check right there. We've got over here in the code, you've got different, these are the, up here on the side, you can see some of the code that we've written here to do the spell effects, and we've got events for when the spells are cast. All of this is for a show, a live Dungeons & Dragons show on Twitch, not on this channel, but over on that one right there that I just put in the chat room, or maybe over there if you're looking at the chat room over there. Twitch.tv/DragonHumpers. It's comedy Dungeons & Dragons. So give us a follow over there if you're into that. And if you like Dungeons & Dragons, and if you just like programming, that's kind of what we do here. We do a lot of... That's
here, yeah. We're doing the programming side of things. To the extent that Mark not only built this WPF command and control center, essentially for building all out the rules for the Dungeons & Dragons, but has also decided to build something of an IDE, and in fact a language in the background for controlling all of this,
right.
Or at least a library. So we've got the ability here to create effects based on constituent parts. So all of the things you see are sort of along those lines. There's types of sound, types of graphics, sequencing. I mean, if the small piece of code you see in front of you actually labels not just those things as happening, but when in the timed sequence they should happen. We've got IntelliSense built into that as well that we've popped up to help us effectively research our own methods that we have defined in a Google Sheet and tell us what returns appropriate values for any given call or for any given parameter. So this has grown somewhat beyond its original sort of goal, but it's good.
Yeah, Smoopy says we're also showing off the DevExpress product. Isn't that right, Fred? Yeah, so at DevExpress, my team writes a product called CodeRush.
CodeRush!
And it's made by DevExpress.
DevExpress!
And we are live coding that here. We're live not coding it, but we are live dog fooding it. Yeah, we're using CodeRush inside Visual Studio to write the code that we're writing. So that's kind of what we're doing. Last month says, ship it. Did that not work? Did not bring up your ship it piece there? I don't know. Maybe that's not the right one.
A lot of the others work, but yeah, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. There's the correct piece. So, all right, let's go back in.
So right now, back to our dice. We're working on trying to get the dice to carry a bit more inherent information about their purpose. In this case, their damage type, and indeed the purpose for them.
Yeah.
So then we'll be able to take information back out of it after the fact and
Yeah.
apply the damage of the right type to the correct enemy, taking into account any resistances or immunities that they might have to those types of damage.
Yes. So what I'm going to do, dog food looks better than the main course. Uh-oh. Some really neat stuff here. Thanks, Wiki.js. Hey, no worries. So damage type, I want to return this. Before I was looking at something called die type. And I feel like this is poorly named. It's a poorly named variable, I think. We wrote this a while back. And at this point, my conclusion is the name is poor and needs to be fixed. And it seems to be somewhat multi-purpose, which is a little horrific to find out. But I think it feels like that's the case. What were we looking for before to get us out of here? Let's go look at, I stopped rolling. Let's go set a breakpoint here again. Let's cast Ice Storm again. We'll get reoriented here. Miles has Ice Storm. Where are you, Ice Storm? It'll be faster to do it off of the Stream Deck. Here, we'll do it up here, like this. Miles spells. Ice Storm is it new? I don't see it. Interesting. I only got it here, not on here. Looks like I'm missing it. All right, so there's Ice Storm. Let's roll the damage. Oh, Dice Roller looks like it needs to be initialized. And let's initialize that data. Okay, one more time. Miles, Ice Storm. Roll the damage. It's got two different kinds of damage types, bludgeoning and cold. So you see the cold dice up there, two of the bludgeoning right here. All right, so now I just want to get back in here. The stop rolling data is what's coming in here. Let's see. Can you give me a test close, Rory? Out there.
I'm just telling that, yeah. At least I would be. If the browser hadn't just
Hold on, let me
died.
see if I can do it for you. Test close. There we go. All right, so you see the code. So right here, I'm at stop rolling data and individual rolls. That's what we were looking for. The individual rolls are not coming back with 3 pieces of data. How many sides on the dice? The type. This is kind of this weird label kind of thing in terms of it. It can be a string name for the type of the dice. So I can have a spell, for example, can cast a very specific die out, and then later we can ask, was it this type? So I almost want to call this the label instead. This is where I think it's misnamed. It's got its value, but it doesn't have what its damage type was if it has a damage type. So that's what I want to now set, the damage type to it. So I want to go find individual rolls out there. So back over here. Look for individual rolls. There we go. Where we're building this. So here's where we're building this new individual roll. So I want to come up here to individual roll. And I think I want to add a new public damage type.
Hey, bud. Slight internet issue there, but hey, we're back.
We got it. We're good. All right, so I'm going to add damage type to this, like this. So I'm going to add damage type there to the constructor. Now we can come over here, and now we can say, we can pass in die dot damage type is what I think I called it. Whoops. Like that. Let's go double check that that's what I in fact called it. Yeah, I did. So the damage type is coming in there. It could be damage type.none, but at least we're going to set it right in there. Okay, good. Next, I need to modify individual roll. Since we're using SignalR and JSON to communicate between these two, I need to find individual roll on the C# side of things. I need to add a property called damage type of the same enum type. So let's go find that out here. Individual roll is here. I'm going to kill the app, I think. maybe not. Maybe I'll run it. I'll keep it running, but I'm going to clear the dice and then I'll kill the app. Get the dice off. All right, and so here I want to call this damage type, like that, and call it damage type, the same kind of thing. And if I give it the same name, then Jason will take care of serialization for me, pass them back and forth. That might be all I need to do. I just need to start this, and I need to refresh my 3D dice layer on the stream. So I'm going to do that now. This may actually not be as hard as I thought it might be. Yeah, a lot of people thought they were getting a Skype call there. All right. Let's initialize player data. Ha, last minute. Doesn't use Skype anymore, so it's safe. All right, that's been, we're good there. Let's go to Miles again. Go find Ice Storm. Roll the damage. Yeah, we got a breakpoint. Cool. Now let's look at our data coming back. Please tell me we got some data here. Nice. Look at that. Damage bludgeoning. So we can see, we can get individual totals for whether it was bludgeoning or whether it was cold damage. Looks like this is, hold on, let me scroll up a bit so you can see
Yeah, it's
it.
a little tricky because of the dice.
I'll show it one more time. Here's individual rolls. Bludgeoning right there.
Yep.
Bludgeoning right there. Cold. And the others are all cold.
Good stuff.
Right? So now we know how much damage was done for each category right there. So then we have to go apply that damage. And then we need, the next step is we need to get to a saving throw. So I think we need to kind of create a damage collection is what I think we need to do. Let me run this so I can clear the dice off of the screen. And we'll do that. And let me kill the app. Let's think about our damage collection. I think it's going to be a dictionary of string indexed ints is what I think it's going to be. And I'm going to call it latest damage. Like that. Is it going to be string index? No, it's going to be damage type index.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to be. Like that. That's what it's going to be. That's what it's going to be. Okay, so that means that we're going to come down right around here. We want to process it. So at the end of our stop rolling data, I think we want to process it around here. Do we, or do we want to? No, let's calculate it up at the top. We'll calculate it at the top, but we'll use it at the bottom, just in case any of our event handlers want to go in and grab it as well. That's what I'd like to do. All right, so let's create a new method here. We'll call it calculate latest damage. Like this, and we're going to pass in EA dot stop rolling data dot individual rolls. Now the only thing I'm thinking is what happens if there's another roll that occurs between now and then. I think we only are going to change this. We're not going to clear it. We're only going to change it if there's more damage to calculate. In other words, if I make a roll that causes damage, we'll calculate it. And then if I roll another like D20 that's just a skill check, we will not delete the damage. Because the reason why is because we're going to need that damage if I needed to roll a saving throw against that damage.
Yes.
Right? So we will only clear the damage if new damage is available to calculate. Okay. So
is it more the case that you clear the damage if you know for sure that it has been dealt with? Because I can see a situation where you were talking about a dice rolling queue earlier. So maybe set of dice 1 gets released and then set of 2 dice gets released. They're both individual attacks happening at the same time. Would you sum the results of those together in a sort of an ongoing tally?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think I'm going to do that. I've been wondering for a while, but what are the bracers for? Oh, these right here.
Yeah.
I use these to protect my hands from getting carpal tunnel or repetitive stress injury. I've been using them for about 14 years, and in general, I think they've worked. They've allowed me to continue to work often long hours without long hours on. I used to work like about 12 hours every day, 365 days a year. That's what I used to do. I don't do that anymore. But the braces are essentially preventative, defensive. But I think also if I tried to work without them, I think I would actually be in pain by now. So that's kind of what's going on with the bracers. All right, individual roles. So I think we also need the stop rolling data in there as well. We need the, should I just pass in EA? I think I'm going to do just EA. We're going to change this up here like that. So if EA dot stop rolling data type maybe let's do a switch on this. And I'm just going to group a bunch of these that I don't care about and a bunch that I do care about. So things that have damage, it's attack damage only. Health is also interesting for this. Calculate latest damage and health. Notice, by the way, right above, I've got a last damage here. That's just the total. It is not individual totals.
Yeah.
Okay. Where am I using it? What is this? Apply player damage? What is this? Apply? Oh. Okay. Yeah. This I think I want to change. I'm going to write a to do here.
So this code was either written in a point in time where we're only considering actual damage, not the type of it at all, or perhaps we allowed that to creep in after the fact. In any case, we do now need to support multiple different types of damage, and as we said before, the way they're dealt with individually is going to be separate. You can't consider them just a total any longer, at least not for the purposes of removal of quantities of damage based on immunities.
Yeah. All right, so this is what I'm going to do right here. I'm just putting a to do here to use it. And I think I'm also going to no, there's not different kinds of health. But for damage, we need to know that. Last health, this can continue to work, but I do want to change last damage. Well, look at this. I've got it to do here. Store last damage type. Yeah, so we were using this before. We need to get rid of that. Yeah.
That's an interesting comment, because that actually predicts that there will be a single last damage type. But as we've seen, there are spells that involve multiple types of damage simultaneously.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So we're going to build a better system to handle that now.
Yeah, so it's actually easier to just look at the things I want to. I think there are only 3 different things that can cause damage. There are those 3 right there. Everything else we can ignore. None, skill check, saving throw, flat d20, percentage roll, wild magic, bending luck, initiative, wild magic d20, inspiration only, add-on dice, HP capacity, and cast simple spell. Okay. So it's really these 3 right here.
It says calculate latest damage and health. Does that suggest that there is a roll which will directly influence an increase in health?
Yeah, there are, but I actually don't need this anymore. I was thinking I'd combine them together, but the last health I can keep because I don't need to know. There's no different types of health. There are different types of damage, and so that's what I need to do. So anyway, if we get to this spot here, then I want to say, actually, let's do, I want to say this dot clear. So we're only going to clear if we got new damage to figure out. Then we're going to go to our EA dot stop rolling data dot Spirocast. Whoa, Pirate cat, look out! Hey, watch out for that guy. Right there. Get him. Good job, Pirate cat. Pirate Cat is in the house. Welcome, Pirate Cat. How you doing?
Welcome, Pirate Cat. Feels like ages since we've seen you.
Dude, about 314 people. Oh, hold on. I got to get this call. Give me a second. I'm going to mute my mic. Oh, no. I can do that. I can do that. So you need me to leave here and deliver that to you now. I can. Do you know what I'm looking at right now? 314 people are watching my show live right now. Right now. I will have to step away. Let me try to shut down quickly and then I'll get on the road and I'll meet you. You sure? I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'll try to end it quickly. All right. Oh man, she left one of her bags. So she took the kids on a mini vacation this week. Yeah. Left one of her bags and she wants me to bring it to her. It's got all her meds in it, that sort of thing. So I'm like, oh baby. Normally I would. But let's get this working and then I think we'll end and we'll send you to somebody else. Is what we'll do. All right, so let's go into individual roles right here. And yeah, meds are important. They are.
Indeed.
Let's see what we got here. There's the individual roles right there. I want to see if the latest damage contains key. And I want to pass in the individual role dot, what is it? Damage type. So that's going to potentially be none as well. And if it does not contain the key, then why am I getting underlines on that? I don't understand that. The damage type here, indexing to express.
It contains key as a method, not an array.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. If it does not contain it, then we're going to add it. So we're going to say add, and put this up here. Yeah, we'll write this code quickly. We'll find somebody to... Why don't you do this for me, Rory? This can save me time. Find somebody out there to... and maybe in the chat room, too. Find somebody for me to send everybody to out there.
Okay.
So we're going to do this. We'll add it, and we're going to say the value that we're going to add is going to be the individual role dot value. That's the value on the die right there. Otherwise, we're going to say latest damage of the individual role damage type. Brian Lagunas, perfect. We'll totally do it.
He's up.
We'll send it to Brian Lagunas. And we're going to say that's equal to what it is plus the value. Okay? So that's how we're going to calculate it. Let's just step through that. Let's set a breakpoint right there. We'll run it and we'll step through that.
It's going to double up on the first time through. Because it's going to add it, and then it's going to add it again.
I need an else right there. You're right. I got a breakpoint. We'll add the else in. I was thinking else, but didn't write it. Okay. Initialize player data.
Before we do send you all off to Brian Lagunas, I should remind you all that we're here for 4 days a week actually, including Mark's on the Friday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, pretty much every week, more or less the same time, which is 5 p.m. BST. I forget what the time is for you, Mark.
Yeah, it is. Hold on, I got it somewhere out here. I think it's on the. Give me a second right here. All right, so there's the ice storm. Where are we? We're here. Dice stopped rolling, and now it should go in here. There we go. We're here. Let me step through the code. Let me get it. Perfect. Got me the test.
There we go.
Test right there. Let me answer your the times. Here we go. I'm going to put it in the chat room right there so you can see what times we're at. We're generally after C# Fritz on most of those days. Not on Mondays, just Tuesdays through Fridays. All right, so here we go. Let's step through this. These individual rolls. We can see them on screen.
So there are 4 rolls and they're all cold. Oh,
yeah.
Sorry, 5th roll, which is bludgeoning.
There's 2 bludgeoning, one up there and one right here. There should be a total of 6 for bludgeoning,
Oh, yeah.
9, 10, 14 for cold. That's what we're expecting to see at the end of this whole thing. So, whoops, I forgot the else. Else right there. Okay, so I'm going to put the caret, I don't know, here. See, that's where execution is now. So we don't get the double add like you said.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're down here. So now we've got 2 in there now. Let's just run and get out of here and see what our totals are. Right there, I guess. Okay, so latest damage, 2.
So 2 types of damage, good.
Cold is 14. So yeah, can you see right there? I can see that the, let me scroll.
That's the 9 times.
Yeah.
14, that looks good to me.
So that's good. So we took care of that part right there. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to check that off our list. I'm going to go deliver some medicine here to my wife. Where is it? We need to... We tested that. It was not rich, but we did now
Got a damage
do
node for each type roll.
This is it right there. We did that. So tomorrow, we're going to be back here tomorrow, and we're going to do rolling d20s for each targeted creature. So every creature that's targeted is going to roll a d20. Also check for their advantage or disadvantage. After that's done, depending on whether they saved or not, they'll take half the damage or not, depending on what the spell is. So we're just going to basically really grab our teeth into the rules of D&D, implement them in terms of maintaining and evaluating the rules automatically. With that said, let's get over to Brian Lagunas. Can you give me his, what is it? What am I typing in here for the raid on Brian Lagunas?
His actual username is Brian Lagunas, so BrianLagunas.
All right, got it going here. All right, kids. Say hi to Brian for me. So sorry we couldn't spend more time with you. Had a great time for while it lasted. And we will...
Come back and join us sometime.
Come back and join us tomorrow. See you, kids.